Time now for YouTube social media reaction. You know, I've noticed you've begun working YouTube comments into the CNN program, and I like that.
I like it a lot too, and a lot of it stems from your YouTube Live that you do at 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
Hardy souls.
Exactly. So if you get up early and you write something that's interesting, that's pithy, that's short. By the way, it can't be too long or it's not going to make it onto CNN. Then I pick some of those from YouTube. I pick some of them from Twitter, some of them from Facebook. But the YouTube, I've been getting a couple every single week.
I have an idea.
Day. Oh, no. What?
I have something that I want you to work on and do. Not for at this moment.
Okay.
I want you to prepare a tutorial with exhibits of the sort of quintessential social media reaction that you flag which gets on CNN or on the radio.
I can 100% do that, including
with examples.
Like this much snark, good. That much snark, not good. You know, like that's just nasty.
Right.
We don't do nasty. We definitely do negative.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But we don't do nasty.
And when I was guest hosting the 9 p.m. slot on CNN, and no disrespect to the people with whom I was working, but they didn't know the rhythm the way you do. Like you have a really good knack for getting under my skin, but not too much.
Well, this is it. I've worked with you so long that I can tell when there's something that you'll have something to say to, that you'll have something to respond to.
You know, because you hear my BS
but also,
every
they
day.
chose ones that were too long.
Too long.
I tried to tell them.
That's rule number one.
So that should have been easy.
Yeah.
Okay,
so will you do that?
I will.
Save examples from YouTube, from Facebook, from Twitter, and then we come back. We'll talk about it. We'll have Jacob put them in as exhibits when he cuts the tape.
But just to be clear, these comments are not for CNN. These are slightly longer comments. They're more chatty comments, and this is what we're looking for when we talk about YouTube. The first one is from the Hollywood Hills mountain lion video.
P22.
P22.
I love P22.
We love P22.
May I say at the outset that I was a man of my word, that I ordered some P22 merch. I ordered
if only you could rip off your and have it underneath what you're wearing right now.
I ordered a long sleeve baseball style T-shirt, with P22 on my chest. Just a little note to those who may be similarly motivated: extra large really means it.
Oh,
really means it.
Sort of like the opposite of the original Smerconish one.
Exactly.
We're running big.
Stay in your lane.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so user Beth G says, Smerconish says this LA story ripe for ridicule and spoofing, but I disagree. In the entire West, we have a diverse wildlife population, including predators like mountain lions, coyote, and bear. We live side by side in rural and suburban areas in the entire region. LA is mainly suburban sprawl, so it's not surprising that a mountain lion lives there. I think any wildlife protection program in the region would work to save P22, not just in loony, quotes, LA.
Okay, first of all, I was not raising this issue in a disparaging manner.
At all.
I love the story, and I want to save P22.
We had on the woman who was saving P22.
P22 is a mountain lion who has been tracked by the authorities in Southern California for the last decade.
Under the Hollywood sign.
And now roams in Griffith Park. I know the territory a bit. I've been there. P22, to get where P22 now lives, had to cross, this is the amazing part of the story, 2 LA freeways. Were like 8 lanes of traffic P22 had to run across to get into Griffith Park.
And the woman that you interviewed said she tracked his movement. She
did it.
Followed them.
On
She
foot.
said she isn't even sure how she made it across 8 lanes of traffic.
Yeah, and just for the record, I said to my guest, I'm sure this is one of those stories that people will ostracize LA and California, but not me.
Right.
If I were in that category, I wouldn't have given up the airtime.
Yeah, come on, Beth. All right, next video. And thank you, Jacob. Jacob was the one that picked the videos and the comments. Video, will Biden bounce back?
Right.
Will Biden bounce back? So Adam C. says, can he bounce back with liberals? For sure. They're gullible. He'll tell them what they want to hear and all liberal media will back him. Besides, there are some who don't care what he does as long as he's a Democrat. It's very sad.
So Joe Biden has had a very difficult week, month, maybe even first year, the anniversary of which is this week. And like others, I reflected on some of the milestones of Biden's tenure, but then I brought Julian Zelizer, the Princeton historian, on air with me. and talked about where have other presidents been at this stage of their first term or their only term. And armed with data about approval ratings, he makes the observation that Ronald Reagan was exactly where Biden is. So too was Bill Clinton. So too was Barack Obama. So he can turn it around. Obama left office with a 59% approval rating. Here's the thing. We've never been as polarized as we are today. So maybe the day of a president getting to 59%, unless the country's at war, because when we're at war, we all rally around the flag. Right. But maybe absent a war scenario, we're not getting back there. And maybe if a president can get to 50%, Donald Trump was never above water, never had an approval rating of 50% or higher in his entire 4 years. That was the conversation.
One more comment on will Biden bounce back. Marvel T says he will have highs and lows just like every other president. It's a tough job. Remember, he walked into a disaster. It's going to take several years to fix this.
He's not going to get a turnaround through legislative achievement because there's just no way he's going to be able to achieve anything of consequence as we head into the midterm. So sad to say, his opportunity, this is just my opinion, his opportunity to turn things around probably comes from some type of crisis, national or international.
The next video, and this is the last comment of the day today, is mocking deceased anti-vaxxers okay?
So this was Michael Hiltzig. He is a Pulitzer Prize winner from the Los Angeles Times. These were his opinions, not necessarily those of the host of the program, but I get held accountable for, every guest comment that gets uttered. But it's a great issue. And let me just distinguish very quickly the important part of this. This is not a discussion about everybody who's unvaccinated who succumbs to COVID and dies. This is a conversation only about people with platforms, radio hosts, television personalities, online journalists,
politicians
who rail against vaccines and vaccine mandates, and then they get COVID and die. Okay. And the question is, in discussing their passing, how do we treat the issue of them having been unvaccinated?
So that girl at the party says, no, it is not Christian to mock the dead. However, it is human to be glad when monsters perish. This woman may have contributed to the deaths of thousands of others with her ignorance. So mocked? No. But mourned? No either.
Well, so she's making it particular now to a former assistant district attorney in California named Kelly Earnby, who was an anti-vaxxer and sadly, I say sadly, contracted COVID and died unvaccinated. That's just sort of exhibit A as to why Michael Hiltzig was writing about this in the LA Times. I don't relish anybody's passing.
No, I agree with
But nor
that.
would I sweep under the rug the fact that someone, we eulogize in the most favorable terms, all your sins are forgotten. You'll remember the days when we used to watch the Today Show and Willard Scott would have like the Smucker's jelly. Somebody turned 100 and they have this like kind looking individual. And I would always sit there as the cynic and say,
this is
I
true.
bet they did some bad things during the course of their lives.
Yes, you
right?
would. And no, not only that, you would specifically go through what you think they probably did.
Correct.
Right.
So we have this, I think, very healthy tendency to only remember the good things when you die. But if you were an anti-vaxxer with a platform, that too needs to be remembered. That's all I'm saying.
I just hope it makes others get vaccinated. That's all.
Keep the YouTube comments coming. Love responding to them. Love seeing them. Like the channel. Ring the bell. Whatever that means. Do all those things. We've upped our game. We have great cameras in studio, and we appreciate you watching.